I'm Chris. That's Pat. We survived through opening day weekend. We survived a 999 challenge on camera that I didn't finish. Pat did, and Pat was just talking about how nervous he is for his next hot dog.
Yeah.
But opening day weekend is complete. We learned a ton. We're going to unpack a ton. My brother in Christ, had something you were about to ask me before we sent it.
Yeah, I want to ask you a trivia question for the day. Chat, chime in if you know it.
The thing is, bro, you're about to ask a Rockies trivia question.
Oh, exactly. This is the deep cut. Can you name me the starting pitcher with the lowest career ERA in Rockies history?
I have no clue.
You probably do.
No, I don't. I couldn't even name you 5 Rockies players.
Come on, you definitely know this, dude.
Is it Tulowitzki? Does he have enough innings as
No. Minimum 50 starts, so he doesn't.
Bro, brother, I swear I have no clue.
You're kidding me.
I'm not even gonna guess.
Damn you. All right. You want a hint?
Just tell me.
Just
what era?
Like 2000, late 2010s, or sorry, early 2010s, late like 2008 to 2012, 13 era. He was traded to Cleveland.
The thing is, where you're catching a time where I didn't pay attention to Cleveland or Colorado.
No, I know, but he had such a historic year in Colorado. Like started the All-Star game this one year.
No, you're going to tell me because now I feel stupid. I have no clue.
Ubaldo Jimenez.
Oh, wait. Who was involved in that? Was that the Betancourt trade?
Let me pull that up. Actually,
because remember Betancourt. Like I feel like you guys always do deals with Colorado.
Yeah, we do.
In that era. Because I used to love it because Betancourt was the closer for you guys for a sec, wasn't he?
Oh, Rafael Betancourt?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it was that. So, dude, his 2010 season, bro, went 19-8, 2.88 ERA, 214 Ks, and 221 innings. So, but the first half of that year, he was ridiculous.
Jeez.
And then he was traded to Cleveland the following year at the deadline. We traded for him. Where was that? Hold up. It was, we got, all right, to be named. So it was, wow. So this was a dog shit trade. It was Ubaldo Jimenez. We traded Joe Gardner, Matt McBride, Alex White, and Drew Pomerantz.
Yikes.
All guys that went on to do nothing. Alex White and Drew Pomerantz. So I remember at the time they were decently ranked pitching prospects for us, but I don't think either of them did anything in Colorado. But yeah, there's your opening trivia.
Yeah, and who was okay? So no, because Rafael ended up with you guys around that same time.
So he was
started with you guys and then ended up in Colorado around that same time.
Yeah, I forget where that might have just been free agent.
Got you, because he left Cleveland in 2009. No, he got traded from Cleveland to Colorado in 2009.
Okay. Yeah, it was funny because that's right. He didn't really close games with us. He was our 8th inning guy because
eighth inning guy, but he had 2 innings in him.
Yeah, we had our closer during that time period was we had Bob Wickman for a bit, and then oh my God, why am I blanking on the other guy? He was notorious.
You guys did make the setup guys super cool. Like the high leverage setup guys were really. I mean, shoot, one of my favorite setup guys, like high leverage guys, the big gun, Andrew Miller.
Oh yeah,
crazy
shit. He revitalized. I mean, Tito really revitalized that whole, using your best reliever in the most high leverage situation during that 2016 postseason run.
I mean, that's when you want your biggest gun. But shout out Colorado because they traded you guys Nolan Jones. The Guards over the weekend went 2 for 3 against the Royals. A good Royals team that a lot of people picked to be better than you guys, myself included.
Yeah. I picked the Guardians, but that was a homer pick. Yeah. But I thought that the Royals were going to give us, I thought the Royals in terms of the division would be basically second behind or ahead of both Detroit and Minnesota.
Yeah, that's fair. Obviously, I like the Royals pitching more than you did, and also I think Bobby Witt is just the shortstop addition of Mike Trout, and so for me, I thought they were going to be off to a start that was at least more competitive. Now, I guess 2 of the games were competitive.
Oh yeah, I mean honestly, yeah. No, I would say really all three were in a sense. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
there was
yesterday's
like a weird high leverage moment in game
yeah,
3.
yesterday's got competitive late because of Joey Cantillo, basically forcing Stephen Vogt to bring in Hunter Gaddis and then Clase. So, but yeah, no, honestly, 2 out of 3. I was hyped with how they played overall. Obviously, some bullpen concerns 3 games in. Obviously, Clase with a blown save on opening day. Rebounded nicely yesterday, I thought. Obviously, the scary situation with Jonathan India. That'll be interesting to monitor, see if the Royals retaliate. They come to Cleveland 2 weekends from now. So, but yeah.
What were you surprised about in opening day weekend and from the Guardians, at least?
Honestly, really surprised with, well, first I'll say surprised that Clase continued his struggles from last year. I was hopeful that kind of would rectify itself early on, and it hasn't. Aside from that, I've been pleasantly surprised with both Gabriel Arias. I think he's done a tremendous job early on, obviously getting that starting second base role out of camp. And then he's kind of played his way into that third base role, with Jose being dinged up and missing the last game and a half. But he's looked really good. I've been pleasantly surprised with him. And I guess pleasantly surprised with Bo Naylor too. He was a guy that I think we both kind of agreed that he needed to take a step in order for the Guardians lineup to really lengthen outside of, their
top
core
5.
Yeah,
you
4 or
want
5
you want
guys.
to lengthen, and you want, like, honestly, like, you want a world where Kwan's coming up with guys on base if he does hit that low. I mean, you want a world where, like, the rest of that lineup looks good, because Kwan is such a good contact guy.
Yeah.
So, like, the better the bottom is, the longer it gets.
Period. Oh, exactly. And you texted me, I think it was Saturday or yesterday, I can't remember, but you're like, dude, Bo's swing looks really fast and really good. And honestly,
dude, well, I had to ask, because, like, obviously, yeah, I thought he looked decent in the Yankee series. There were times where he looked completely lost. When he made contact, you could feel it. But I thought last year the swing had a lot of holes. This year, it either looked like, for me, because I didn't study a ton of Bo Naylor, it looked like he was either swinging the bat harder or really shortening the swing up.
Yeah, it looks more compact right now. And it just looks faster. And that's one of the things that the Guardians should. I mean, it's been 3 games, so I'm not going to go crazy with it, but almost our entire lineup is, their bat speed has increased from a year ago through 3 games, because it's been fun to watch. And I know everyone has been calling for Chris Valleca's head after what he's done the last 3 years, and how quickly, it's 3 games, so I don't want to overreact, but how good everyone looks so far this year. And then obviously the biggest, it's funny because I don't even qualify it in my head as a surprise, but I guess it's a surprise to the rest of the MLB. I've just been so high on this guy, and he just played so well to end the year last year that I knew this was coming. But Kyle Manzardo, man, just absolutely having a killer weekend.
You love for a young guy like that like, obviously, like, had a lot of internal expectations on himself, not really external expectations. Like, people around baseball weren't looking at Manzardo, but like, internally, like, people within Cleveland, like Cleveland fans, Cleveland front office, like, they want to see the best version of Manzardo, and the swing doesn't have many holes, and he's hitting the ball really hard. And last year, like, well, here we go. I'm not surprised by Manzardo's emergence. I am surprised that all of a sudden the Guardians, top to bottom, figured out that they can have good competitive at-bats. And the guy who's going to benefit the most from having good competitive at-bats is going to be Manzardo, because his body and his bat has the most tools.
Yeah.
Because he's the only one outside of Jose that can legitimately hit for true power and true contact.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, I think potentially, I think potentially we could see Lane Thomas enter that equation if he taps into the power that we saw at the end of last season. But you're right. I mean, the two really are those two back to back in the lineup, and Manzardo in that 3 hole, I think, is great, because I think once Josie's back in the lineup, which it might be tonight, they haven't confirmed yet. Obviously, Stephen Vogt said he's day to day dealing with a sore wrist that he jammed sliding into second on Saturday. But yeah, those two, I mean, that's a 1-2 punch that can carry an offense. And honestly, Naylor was so good at times, and then was looked so lost at times, especially late in the year last year. Whereas you're looking at Manzardo's discipline right now, and his approach has just been fantastic so far.
The reason I didn't include Lane Thomas on that is I don't think Lane Thomas is like the baseball player is as strong, like actual strength wise, as Manzardo.
Yes, no, you're 100% right with that.
So like, yeah, I just think that like Manzardo can win with strength. Like I think Manzardo can be wrong on a pitch and a guess, but put a bat on ball and give you a double.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. It's funny too, because one of the biggest things that I've been high on with Manzardo, because a lot of the people before the season were questioning whether or not Manzardo would be an everyday player or if he would be kind of stuck in a platoon role.
Right.
Because you brought in Carlos Santana, switch hitter, a veteran who, has done, great things throughout his career, especially with from a plate discipline perspective.
Yeah, they call him. Here we go. Like you could say, like dude's a pro hitter, and last year Manzardo did not show us he was a pro hitter. He just hit the ball hard.
And it's funny because it was such a small sample size, but if you look at his splits last year versus left-handed pitching, 13 games last year. This is in the regular season. He only hit 211. He had 2 doubles, no home runs, a 566 OPS against left-handed pitching. This year, through one series, he already has 4 extra base hits against left-handed pitching, 2 home runs. It's been such a pleasant surprise.
To definitely stock up on Manzardo. I'm curious to see like if he'll kind of carry this over. Big Manzardo guy. At what point? I'm just going to give you your concern for you. Class A is the concern.
Yeah.
At what point in the season, if the command's a little all over the place, or if we get a couple more blown saves, are you thinking about a potential like swap in roles?
I'm not there yet. I mean, we got to remember. This guy finished last year with a .61 ERA.
Yeah, and
just absolutely ridiculous. And I get that the playoffs really,
change the visual now. Like
change the visual
MLB.
It's like you went. He had 3 really bad, or really like 3 to 4 really bad postseason outings, coupled with a long off season, and now bang, your first outing in the regular season. I mean, is a blown save. It's optically not a good look. I thought he looked a lot better yesterday. And one of the things that you pointed out to me when we were talking about it on Friday after his blown save was that he was getting beat in the same spot versus both left-handed and right-handed hitters. But it was that to a right-handed hitter low and away, that pitch that was dotted to Aaron Judge, that Judge went opposite field at to tie the game in the ALCS last year. It was the same spot where Vinny Pasquantino roped a double extra base hit off the wall to start that game. It's that same low and away to righties, low and into lefties where he's been getting burnt. And so I was talking to you about it on Friday, and I said the biggest thing that I want to see from him moving forward is making sure he's getting inside on guys, and especially getting up in the zone. You have to change that eye level and can't just be reliant on as great as those pitches are. It's
just too singular.
Yeah, it's too singular. And I thought he did a better job yesterday of trying to work up and the inside part of the zone. Unfortunately for Jonathan India, he got drilled by a 98-mile-an-hour cutter. I mean, he's lucky he's in the lineup today, which I think is crazy.
He didn't even try to walk to first.
No, he immediately went right to the dugout.
Yeah, yelled and then grabbed the jaw. I thought he broke it. I know his head was ringing, they said, for a while. I don't know if MLB players go through concussion protocols, but I'm keeping an eye out because Jonathan India is he's not a good hitter anyway.
I mean, so what's funny is that he was a thorn in our side this series.
But I don't think in general he's a good hitter.
I mean, I think he's a decent hitter. I mean, so like this series, he hit 286. He went 4 for 14 in the series, but he was putting up good at bats. Like there was an at bat against Gavin Williams on Saturday where he fouled off, I think, about 7-8 pitches. So I guess I'm
a little off. He's a pretty decent hitter, 750 OPS guy.
Yeah, just again a solid hitter. Considering he's going to give you a solid defense at second. Now he's playing third for Kansas City. I've always been high on India. I thought he'd be a guy that would, in past Guardians years would have helped us a bit. He was rumored to us even last year at the deadline.
Yeah.
But
I mean, his first year, his rookie year, having the 4.1 WAR.
Yeah,
like for
that's
Cincy.
crazy. That was what 2020,
21.
or 21. Okay.
He would have a 4.1 WAR in 2020. That would be out.
Oh yeah, that was the shortened year. But yeah, I thought, obviously sucks for him, but yeah, I liked how Clase went about that, outing last night, was changing the eye level, working inside on right-handed hitters, and then he ended up striking out Bobby Witt to end the game. And it's like, all right, it was good to see that. So I'm not too worried about it yet. And obviously, you got to figure the bullpen as a whole is going to regress from last year.
And it was, yeah. I mean, they have to. I mean, that was a historic bullpen, and their arms had to go deeper into the year. They got more innings than most other bullpens had, and then obviously like more tape. So it's like you either got to add new pitches or this, that, and the third. I do think it's fascinating just for you, and I don't know where your stance is on this. I think it's going to sound crazy. I think the reason Clase, a part of why Clase wasn't a huge strikeout guy last year is because he almost had too good of a feel for the zone.
Oh, 100%.
I think you have to have, as a closer that throws that hard, there has to be some level in the hitter's mind. Is he going to let this ball go and we have no clue where it's going to go?
No, that's 100%. Like his efficiency in the zone is in ineffectiveness, is what I saw someone tweet the other day. And I was like, that sums it up perfectly. Like his command is too good, where he's got to be able to, whether it's on purpose or just kind of mentally locking out of the zone a little bit, he's got to find ways to make hitters uncomfortable in the zone. Like that's honestly, that's what makes like a guy like Aroldis Chapman. That's what made him so good for so long.
Like Aroldis Chapman wise, like he's going to get swing and miss, and he's going to get you to chase so far out of the zone because you have no time to decide if it's going to be a ball or a strike. Yeah. You just have to sit fastball. I got to go. With Clase, it's the fastball, but you have a good idea that that's going to be in the zone.
Yeah. And if you pick it up early, that it's going to be a strike. Like he's not going to. So fuck it. Maybe it was intentional that he hit India yesterday. Maybe this is the new version.
Make them think. Make them think you're a little wild.
But 100%. I mean, like that's what made Chapman such a threat early on in his career, was that like this guy threw 100 plus miles an hour, and every pitch you didn't know if you were going to get fucking beamed in the head or look stupid swinging at something completely out of the zone.
And I think that's why I like Mason Miller too, because he's not afraid to like really work in on guys.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's the best closer currently in baseball. If someone said, pick a closer, who do you want?
Yeah, I think right now you could say that with Clase's recent struggles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
it's such a fine line though too, because how often do we see, like, I mean, we saw it plenty of times with Chapman throughout his career where he'll have an outing where he can't find the zone, and then all of a sudden you're walking guys left and right, and then that's infuriating, especially as a fan.
And then like wild pitchers like that, like as soon as you walk somebody, you worry about Chapman because chances are that runner's on second or third by the end of it because there's going to get a ball.
Yeah, you're gonna exactly.
I guess that's why I like Mason Miller though. Mason Miller feels like he's throwing really hard and has a good command of where he wants to put the ball.
Yeah, and that's where I think Clase can get there, because he already has the command down. He's just got to train himself to think like, okay, not everything has to be in the zone. Like, let your command expand. Like, expand your command.
Expand your command. That's in this bitch rapping.
Yeah, expand.
You guys go out west.
Mm-hmm.
You want to preview a little bit what you guys got?
Yeah, we got a little 6-game road trip on the West Coast, 3 in San Diego starting tonight, then an off day Thursday, and then 3 more over the weekend in Anaheim against the Angels. Obviously, San Diego's kind of in a weird spot, although they just looked really good in their opening series against Atlanta, obviously sweeping the Braves.
It was a weird sweep, because like there were times where I felt like San Diego was absolutely getting like bullied in terms of, because I thought Braves pitching wasn't bad.
No, I didn't think so either. And we did our show last week talking about previews. I know you had Atlanta winning the division. I have Atlanta as second in that division, behind the Phillies were my pick, but like both of us agreed that they're like those two teams are going to fight for the playoffs and be neck and neck in that first place spot all year long. And the Braves just, I don't know, offensively just looked lost over the weekend.
Yeah, they did look lost, and that it's weird to see them look lost considering some of like the bats they've got in that lineup.
Yeah. And obviously some new faces. Profar, he was an interesting one that we talked about a lot this offseason.
The ultimate anomaly, because he's the greatest high leverage hitter of all time.
Yeah.
Like, what's the stat? His WRC plus was like 326 in high leverage situations.
Something absolutely ridiculous, dude.
And when we talk about WRC plus, like 100 is the league average. 200 is considered Hall of Fame level. So 300 is literally like video game numbers.
Yeah, it's just absolutely insane what he did, in high leverage situations. But it was also, we talked about how last year was the first year he had
that kind of season.
Yeah, because if you look at it, I mean, this guy was, again, a former #1 overall prospect. Still only 32. So it's like you look at it, he's been around the league since 2012, but he was 19 when he debuted. I mean, he hasn't put together, he had an OPS of 839 last year. That was the first year ever in the majors that he's posted an OPS over 800.
Yeah, that's wild.
And so it's like, all right, that's your age 31 season. Is this your coming out party, or was that a 1-year fluke? And
is that because you were so protected?
Yeah.
Like in a lineup.
Yeah, but you would think that he should have similar protection in Atlanta, no?
He probably does.
Where was he hitting last year in San Diego? Because he's hitting leadoff now for the Braves, I believe.
I don't know where. I mean, I feel like they shuffled that lineup so much. Because sometimes I feel like Jackson Merrill was leading off.
Yeah.
I mean, they randomly, didn't Luis Ariz get a couple spots at leadoff, and they were like, this doesn't work. He's not a good base runner.
Yeah, you're right, because they did move him, I think, to the 2-hole.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. So he only hit leadoff in 19 games last year, Profar. And you're right, they shuffled it. So 19 games hitting leadoff, 51 apiece at both second and third in the order, 6 games hitting cleanup, 19 hitting fifth, and 12 hitting sixth.
Yeah, that's probably more protection if he was hitting second and third than he has in Atlanta currently.
Yeah, I agree.
Currently. But he's obviously not going to hit leadoff once Acuna gets back.
No.
Because that's literally your perfect leadoff hitter. What are you hoping to see in the first 3 games of the out west trip?
Honestly, prove to me that you can hit can continue this hitting stretch that they're on early on, like the bat speed we've talked about, like these guys producing at a high clip so far. I want to see if the bats can stay hot against, San Diego. They've got a good pitching staff, but I think we run into Michael King tomorrow. So we've got tonight is against Kyle Hart, some prospect for them. Michael King on Tuesday, and then I believe it's Cease, who's our arch nemesis, Cease on Wednesday. So see if those bats can continue to hit, especially in games 2 and 3 of this series. Like Michael King and Dylan Cease are 2 of the top 7 pitchers in the NL.
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think they both were top 7 in Cy Young last year. So, I want to see how the bats look against both those guys. And then I guess the other biggest thing I'm looking for is how does Luis Ortiz look in his Guardians debut? He pitches tonight for us. Mm-hmm. He's a guy that was brought in that Jimenez deal, which ended up being a 3-team deal, to eat innings and to provide, a quality number 3 option for us. His stuff has looked good. It's graded out really well in the last 2 years, both in the majors and minors for Pittsburgh. And so you figure with him in the Cleveland Guardians organization, obviously the pitching factory that we have, I want to see him take that next step. And he kind of had struggled at times in spring training. But again,
but that's like typical for that profile player.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to watch his start tonight. I think that's what I'm most locked in on. And then, can the bats stay hot?
Yeah, it's the big thing. All right, brother. My Yankees played over the weekend.
Let's pivot, baby. I mean, talk of the MLB. I mean, first of all, dude, that game on Saturday, again, I've always been locked in on the Yankees throughout my life, just because growing up,
being in Jersey, I've had no other choice but to watch all the Yankee games. Whether when I was bartending, they were always on the TV, so I was constantly watching them. And then, my friends and family that are Yankees fans too. So I call it hate watching, call it whatever you want. I tune into most Yankee games, and so I'm watching this first inning on Saturday, texting you and going, "Oh my God, Nestor Cortez is literally throwing batting practice." Dude, just meatball central.
Oh, unbelievable. But walk me through it like what you're watching, because I can only imagine as a fan, you must have been going absolutely ballistic.
Dude, imagine that before the catcher catches a single ball, you're up 3-0. Like, that's what I kept thinking about. Like, 3 straight pitches. You hold the catcher could have went there with no glove and been fine. First of all, Nestor, two parts. I'll start with this. I thought that Nestor was going to get shelled against the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't profile well enough because Nestor was last year throwing about 92, 93. A lot of off-speed stuff, a lot of like timing stuff, and get some weak contact. Like,
also, I don't know if this was an organizational thing or just he was just so deep in his own head that I felt like we weren't seeing the traditional Nestor kind of like
the
messing
pause.
with, the messing with timing and stuff that we normally did.
Well, my brother in Christ, it's kind of gimmicky, and he does it when he's feeling himself.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
then.
so it's like he never got a chance to like feel himself.
Yeah, because every pitch he threw left the fucking yard.
Yeah, the first time in MLB history since I started tracking it that the first 3 pitches, not first 3 at batters, first 3 pitches all got hit for home runs.
I also saw another stat where he was the first pitcher in Major League history to record 5 home runs allowed and also walk 5 batters
without facing 30 hitters,
without facing 35 hitters or something like that.
And he faced 17.
Yeah, insane stat, dude. I mean, just an all-time historically bad performance.
And here we go. So obviously he got traded from the Yankees to the Brewers. Like, there's a part of that. You're returning to Yankee Stadium. You viewed yourself as a horse last year. You know, you were the opening day starter for the Yankees the year before last year.
Yeah.
Because obviously Garrett Cole had the elbow injury, and the Yankees are crazy because like we're gonna talk about torpedo bats. So we have 430 people in here. So like, retweet, sub to the channel, all that. We'll really get into it. But the choice for Boone after opening day, they went with Wells as the leadoff guy, and Wells obviously hits a leadoff home run. Like, and you think, okay, he's gonna be a leadoff guy. And you and I are really high on Austin Wells. I think he's gonna have a big year. That swinging in Yankee Stadium, and they go to Goldschmidt as the leadoff guy.
First time ever in his career, right?
Yeah, first time ever. But they do it because Nestor doesn't throw hard enough.
So and we were talking about this earlier. I thought just watching the game, like, all right, I get it. They don't want to go Wells because it's left on left. They're going Goldie. Yeah, kind of a weird spot. But I'm like, all right, I guess it as a platoon. And I didn't realize that it was just based
like
off velocity.
I guess a different kind of platoon.
Yeah.
Because like they went righty, like because the Brewers went righty the next game. And Goldschmidt, and Goldschmidt started was the leadoff. Yeah, because of the velocity thing. But the Yankees boom everything. They hit 4 home runs in the first inning. Wells ends up going yard in the first inning anyway. And then it was just all meatballs from the Brewers.
Yeah. And then like the 2 guys that came in after out of the bullpen, each made their major league debut that day. And it's
just a whole lot of meatballs. And obviously, like Jazz hit 1, Volpe hit 1, Goldschmidt hit 1, Judge hit 3, and was very close to a cheap Yankee Stadium 4th one, which would have been awesome.
Which was also the hardest pitch velocity that he hit that day, right? Because everything else was under 90 miles an hour.
Everything else was under 90. That one, I think, was like 92 or whatever, and boom that. So I'll start with this. It was crazy to see the offense go crazy like this.
Yeah.
And it kind of covered up some of the bleeding because the defense was horrible. Like Pablo Reyes is garbage.
Yeah, he's not gonna be in pinstripes too much longer, I'd imagine.
No, I don't think I think I'd rather have George Lombard Jr. up here than watch him try to play third. Like it was because
that was gross to watch on Saturday.
Yeah, like it was so bad. But yeah, dude. So like, talk of the town. Obviously, the Yankees, lead the league in home runs. And here we go. I'll start with this. The Yankees did not lead the league in home runs because of the torpedo bat. They led because it was meatball central from the Brewers.
Yes, I mean that, and that's something that we were talking about earlier today. It's like I'm very down on the Brewers this year because I think their pitching's horrendous, and obviously, like, great win on opening day against Freddie Peralta. Like that's an ace right there.
Yeah, that's a real win, and that was a competitive game.
Yeah. But, I mean, you look at Nestor and then Savale, who, since he's been traded away from Cleveland, has been terrible over the last 2 years. So it's like that. Again, I'm curious to see if the Yankees can continue, because if they can continue this hot streak against good pitching, then holy shit.
Yeah, well, here we go. The thing is, they never had it against good pitching. Like they haven't had this kind of day against good pitching.
Yeah.
It's been bad pitching that they've done this against.
100%.
Like a typical Yankees game, you can expect between 4 and 5 runs. That's what it's going to be most of the year.
Yeah.
And that's standard. You're not going to see the 20 burgers anymore. But the torpedo bat got a lot of talk because Michael Kay, during the broadcast, brought it up because Jazz Chisholm had one.
Mm-hmm.
And I find a picture of it if you can. And
Yeah.
we'll put it up on screen. And Jazz Chisholm, as they're talking about this bat, ends up hitting a bomb with it. And because of the Yankees broadcast, it makes its way to social media. And now everyone can't stop talking about these torpedo bats and how it's cheating, this, that, and the third. And the Brewers pitcher basically said, well, it's the Yankees.
Here's the picture of Jazz.
Yeah. So it's just like it's a different size barrel.
Yeah. So it's basically what they did was they moved like the weight and the meat of the bat like almost closer towards like the handle, basically.
Yeah, they moved it close, so it honestly looks and swings closer to like a fungo.
Yeah.
And it got talked about for the first time, like causing this like uproar about it. I guess, where are you at on it? Do you care about it? Do you think it's cheating? Do you think the Yankees are the Yankees really that innovative, out of curiosity?
I mean, I honestly, so what I've read is that this has been going on for the last 3 years in their analytical department as they've been studying basically where guys are making contact with the ball the majority of the time and finding a way to, take advantage of that by moving the barrel of the bat lower down on each bat. So listen, I'm of the belief that it's not cheating because every other team can use this bat. I mean, we saw, I think Lindor, Ryan Jeffers on Minnesota was using it. So it's like other guys are using it. I think this is what's going to be funny though is to really see how many teams and how many players really adopt this, like starting now, like ASAP.
Well, that's honestly, like, that's the rush, right? It's like if your analytic department wasn't ready with this before, now you're going to try to rush to get these together. And it's like the data they're using is like each hitter specific, and they have like a number of them made up in case they break.
Yeah. And it's like also you're now, I think there's definitely obviously a different feel to that bat than a normal bat. So now it's like you're risking, all right, these guys have been swinging the same bat since spring training a couple months in, and now you're going to all of a sudden switch to this new style of bat just because it's the in thing.
Because Cody got offered one last year with the Cubs.
Okay.
And he swung it. And what I've been reading is that because the weight shifted in a different place, it puts more stress on your forearm, so it can feel weird. And like baseball players are creatures of habit. So he had it available to him last year and chose not to. And he's got one with a slight barrel adjustment, but not like one of like the quote unquote torpedo bats. Like Jazz's is super dramatic.
Yeah. Jazz and Volpe's too, right? Volpe's is the other.
Yeah, Volpe has it. So Volpe, so the batters in the lineup they're using it are Volpe, Jazz,
Bellinger.
Bellies isn't quite that.
It from what I read, they were qualifying it as one of those.
Okay, so his isn't. There's not as much weight moved down.
Yeah,
because I think with the big looping swings, you worry about the shoulders.
Yeah.
But they were using them last year. And I sent a picture to Pat earlier because Giancarlo Stanton had one that in use last year. And some people are saying that that's what caused his double elbow tendonitis because he had such a violent swing and there's less room from the bat because it's moved down so much.
Yeah. And it's funny because you wouldn't think that a guy like Stanton would need a torpedo bat because it doesn't really fit his profile. But shit, if he was using that in the playoffs, it's hard to argue that it didn't make an adjustment because that
he was definitely using that in the playoffs and definitely was going crazy with it.
Yeah. So it's like, damn, maybe this was his unlocked tool all along. Maybe that was what he was using in Miami all those years ago when he was hitting the 50 something home runs and hitting 300. But that's my biggest, I guess, concern for this trend moving forward is, are we going to see a plethora of injuries similar to what we saw with Stanton? Because if that's the case, that might be the big pushback among other teams in the league.
Well, here we go. It's going to be the risk reward thing because if I don't think it matters a ton. I do think it's a unique, small, slight advantage thing, but I think it's going to be viewed like spin rate.
Yeah.
Like when spin rate started getting tracked, guys started chasing spin rate, and what started happening?
Then
Elbow
Tommy
injury.
John. Yeah.
A bunch of elbow injuries, and that doesn't lead to guys stopping with that. It leads to guys trying to figure out how can I be healthy and increase my spin rate because or treating it like a race against time.
Yeah.
Like let me dominate because I know I'm at some point I'm going to have surgery.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we're seeing across the league as a whole. I mean, we've looked at that. What is it, like the top 15 pitchers in terms of average fastball velocity as starting pitchers last year? I think maybe 10 of the 15 now have had Tommy John in the last 2 years.
And they're all going to end up getting it.
Yeah. So it's like, it's inevitable for most of these guys. But like you said, it's that risk reward factor, which I think we're going to start to see hitters kind of adapt to this too, which again, whether it's elbow tendonitis or what, I'm curious to see what the fallback is, especially in a couple months. And also the other thing too, which I don't want to blow out of proportion, which everyone else is that this was one series and one crazy stretch of games, which when you just said these pitchers from Milwaukee were throwing meatballs the whole time.
Yeah, literally. Like the Brewers pitcher, they got mad about the torpedo bats, how it's ridiculous. Somebody posted a picture of the pitch that they threw that led to the Jazz home run. Yeah. And it was literally 88 middle.
Like, yeah, maybe work on your location, buddy. Because
yeah, I think the whole bat thing is closer to like golf drivers.
Yeah.
Like you still got to be a good golfer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And also the pitchers have a crazy advantage, but Judge didn't use one. Just like put that out there too.
Yes, Judge. So I have the list here. The guys that hit it. So Jazz, Volpe, Wells is using one apparently, and then Bellinger and Goldschmidt were the 5 that hit home runs over the weekend using the torpedo bat for the Yankees.
Yeah, Junior Caminero is using one as well.
Oh yes, that's right. And then obviously Frankie and Jeffers. And I'm sure we're going to see pictures all throughout this upcoming week about other players using it.
I mean, Belly said that the Cubs had them last year.
Yeah, this isn't like new technology this year. It sounds like teams have been aware of this and maybe are just hesitant to use it. And I wonder if it's because of the potential injury concerns.
Yeah. Well, and like also like I don't know how do you want to use Stanton's injury as a potential injury thing? Because Stanton's
always hurt too.
Well, he's also like power lifter.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, is the elbow tendonitis because of this bat or because you're bench pressing 400 pounds?
Yeah. And it's like, again, we know Stanton's been made of glass throughout his whole tenure with the Yankees.
It's because of the powerlifting, I think. Because like there's a reason you don't see like NFL players that are that big and asked to move. Like it's a reason you see like all these guys that are power lifters getting hurt playing sports that require like quick twitches. Because like as a power lifter, you're not moving quickly, but every movement in the sport of baseball is a quick twitch motion.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Like think about Mike Trout. Like that's your lifter, and then when he always has the muscle injuries because you go from 0 to 100 really quick with no like time to warm up, and that's not what these guys train.
No, that's true. All those guys with the big body mass tend to
like the big strong guys.
Yeah,
it's like those guys literally always get hurt. My Yankees have Arizona coming to New York.
I'm excited for that series. That's gonna be a fun one to watch.
A lot of fireworks, a lot of home runs. Should be.
Yeah, dude. Arizona looked good over the weekend. We talked about it yesterday. They came back. They were down.
Bro, Matt Boyd threw 5 shutout innings.
Yeah, and then
they lost 10-6.
Crazy stuff. But talk to me about, I guess, what your biggest takeaways were aside from obviously the massive home runs. But what were your biggest takeaways, I guess, surprises and concerns after your guys' first series?
I'm not used to having a good base running team. First to third used to never happen in New York. Like Gleyber Torres, awful bad base running. It was really nice to see New York aggressive on the base paths in terms of like first to third stuff. Not really stealing, but first to third stuff.
Yeah.
With the guys like Paul isn't a burner. But it's nice to see him go first or third on like a little dribbler.
He's a good base runner. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
like it was nice to see those things. I'm enjoying Jazz at second base. It feels like that shores up that side of the field. And the other part of it is like the lineup, like your lineup feels long. My lineup, I also feel like it's really long.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue after this past weekend, but it's like, yeah, you look at it and especially, I mean, shit, when you have Goldschmidt hitting that way in the leadoff spot and you have the ability to put Wells down in that middle, to bottom of the order, it really lengthens it. And this is without like Dominguez hasn't really hit yet.
No, Dominguez, and honestly, like that's my big concern. Like Dominguez figuring it out is like the one thing I want to see for next series. Oh, real quick, before we move completely on from the bats, good info on the bats and the pitching. Should be interesting to see how it play out. I understand you still have to swing to be good, but our ball's really going further, always with the bat. So is the bat an advantage? So I guess balls are actually not going further with the bat.
Yeah,
it's like expanding the zone. That's a sweet spot zone.
And so what it was again, because a lot of players were getting quote unquote jammed, or that's like a lot of their swings were resulting in getting jammed. So they're basically moving the barrel. However, because I guess you're generating less bat speed.
Yeah, you're generating less bat speed,
and the max distance will not be
as far.
Yeah,
but you'll be able to hit more balls out based on like. It's so basically instead of like
still hitting the sweet spot.
Yeah, barrel bait. It's just expanding the sweet spot. So instead of like all of it being concentrated in just one spot, it's spread out throughout the bat.
Yeah,
making it a little bit heavier, closer to your hands.
And so your bat speed and I guess your bat speed is going to drop. Your average exit velocity will not reach. I guess your max exit velocity won't reach
the ultimate peaks. Yeah. But you'll have more that are harder hit balls.
Yes. So your average exit velocity will probably be higher just based off of because you're getting more solid contact more often, I guess.
Yeah. And it's not like the two Jazz Chisholm home runs were not mammoths.
No, I mean, I think I saw yesterday that he had, I think the first one was a home run in 10 out of 30 parks. And then the second one was 13 out of 30. So
yeah, they're not mammoths. So it's just it's an interesting bat thing. I guess some guys should be able to generate the same bat speed, but more on the backswing because of how the weight's distributed.
Yeah.
So like if you turn on a pitch, you could see like some bat speed, whatever. So yeah. But for my Yankees, in terms of like what I am happy I saw good defense. I'm happy I saw good base running. I'm really happy that Jazz is having competitive at bats after Judge.
Yeah.
Because that lengthens the lineup.
Absolutely. But wait, hold up. Did you say good defense?
Yeah. Except for Pablo Reyes.
Well, no. I mean, you guys had what? 5 errors?
Yeah, we had 5 errors. But I'm considering outside of the Pablo Reyes stuff, pretty good defense in this series.
Okay. Because I know Volpe had an error on Saturday.
Volpe had the stuck in the glove one, which I'll live with because he got the first out. It is frustrating. So we had the error on the double.
Freed had an uncharacteristic one because he's a good fielder normally. So
yeah, Freed is the best pitching defender playing in the sport. He had the bad one. And then Jazz had one.
Jazz had one, yeah.
Yeah, the line drive. But Jazz also got the 2 balls that Gleyber Torres would have never gotten to.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any outfield blunders because right field is no longer Soto.
And Bellinger looked really good. He had that I think that was
shoulder.
Saturday, right? That off of Churio. Churio hit one in the gap that Bellinger tracked and ran down. That was nice.
So you see this. Christie, address of a hat used by an outfielder went uncalled. Trent Grisham used his hat to knock a ball down in the opener.
Oh,
yeah. I don't think anybody knew that rule. The baseball rule book's too long.
Yeah, I honestly did not know that rule existed either.
Yeah, so he knocked the ball down with his hat when it took a weird ricochet off the ball.
Yeah.
Off the wall, excuse me. What else? Oh, Ben Rice is my man Zardo. Ben Rice with 2 hits in the series, hitting 500, a bomb and a double. It feels really cool because he's the Yankees version of Manzardo. We don't usually play young guys.
Yeah.
It's going to be a platoon situation. So he's going to handle that DH spot.
Yeah.
Half the time.
Okay.
depending on what they want to do with Dominguez, because they don't want Dominguez to play in the field every day because he's not that good in the field. But him having competitive at bats is really nice. Last year, he hit the ball really hard. His expecting batting average on balls in play was really high. It was like almost a 200-point difference between what his actual average was. Because he's just hitting hard hit balls directly to guys. And he gained 15 to 20 pounds this offseason.
Oh, wow.
And started putting balls over the fence. So I am very excited for Ben Rice.
Yeah, I honestly, he looked really good in spring too. So I think, like that's, I mean, shit, you've
always show they're the same player, him and Manzo.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how their careers unfold and they're the same age too, right?
I think they're a year apart.
Are they a year apart? Yeah.
I think Ben Rice is a year older.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But both had like similar career trajectories last year, where they were up with the big league club after raking in AAA, and then got sent back down. But then when Manzo got back up, he was putting together some really good at bats. Ben Rice got brought back up and didn't really get to play.
Yeah, because we didn't see him at all in the playoff series.
No, and I wanted Ben Bonds out there. Only thing I saw from him was him taking Garrett Cole deep in a live simulated game.
That's right. That was the only. Yeah. And I thought after we saw that I thought for sure he was going to get some at-bats in the series. But
right, because the Yankees first baseman, the last home run they hit was last June.
Jesus.
Yeah. Think about how disgusting that is.
Well, not anymore.
Well, no, not anymore. I'm saying like they made it to the playoffs and their first baseman hadn't hit a home run since the summer.
That's insane. How was that not talked about more?
Nobody talked about it because no one wants to hurt Rizzo's feelings.
Jesus. Yeah, that's brutal. I did not realize that.
The Yankees did not hit a home run since the summer from the first base spot.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, a real problem. And now already they've got one from Paul Goldschmidt and one from Ben Rice.
There we go. You're back.
My biggest concern is third base.
Yeah.
And what I want to see next series is really just my Yankees hitting against good pitching.
Yeah. So who are you guys? You guys are facing Corbin Burns, right?
Yeah, we got Burns. It's Will Warren versus Burns.
Okay. So that's between him. You'll face what? Burns. I'd imagine probably Gallen will go again because he pitched, I think, Thursday. So there's two good guys right there. It's like, all right, prove that you can do this against good pitching.
Yeah, prove that it's real.
The torpedo bats are not a fluke.
Shout out Torpedo bats. Across the league, aren't the Twins getting beat bad right now?
Dude, they're down 9-0 to the White Sox.
Ooh.
It is the 7th inning. The Twins are about to go 0-4 to start the year.
And I know you love that.
I love to see it, dude. They are my least favorite team in the division. More so just because of recency. They've been kind of our biggest rival. Aside from maybe Detroit, obviously facing Detroit in the playoffs last year has re-sparked that rivalry. But yeah, dude, I love the fact that Minnesota's struggling right now because they did nothing to help themselves in the offseason. Like they didn't, kind of make their pitching any better. It's kind of the same rotation they have last year, which is very top heavy. I think aside from Lopez and Joe Ryan, it's a bunch of mid. And then their lineup can't stay healthy. So
yeah, after Twins. Did you watch any of the Mets Astros series?
So I didn't watch any of it live. I was seeing highlights throughout the weekend. Obviously, Soto with the embarrassing strikeout to end.
Wait, real before the series, Soto made comments about the Yankees offense and the Mets offense. And about
what did he say?
He just talked about how the Yankees are good right now, but they're not going to be good later on. I don't really trust the lineup. Like blah 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 blah. Basically saying he didn't pick the Mets because of money.
That's so funny, man. I mean.
Well, of course he says that the Yankees go ballistic.
Well, yeah. It's also how quickly the fan base changed. Like Soto was heralded as this hero last year, all throughout the year, the bromance of him and Judge, and how quickly he's just become, and a lot of it is his own doing, but just we haven't seen this kind of villain like amongst
I was thinking
Yankee fans for a long time.
Like he's hated more than any of the Boston villains.
Oh, yeah. Like right now. But you guys don't really, I don't know. Devers, just because, I mean, Devers kind of has owned Cole in the past. So I feel like that was it. But like, he was never really hated like the way the Yankees hate Soto right now.
It's kind of wild. Honestly, like I saw a a fan in a Soto jersey getting beat up at the Yankee Stadium. I thought
When?
that
Over the weekend?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like, okay, like we got that going on.
Yeah.
But Mets struggles offensively. You and I kind of went through their lineup, and we don't understand why people are so high on it.
No.
You need Vientos to have a big year. You need Lindor to have a big year. Lindor's usually gets off to slow starts, and Mets fans complain. But the offense looked really anemic.
Yeah, I mean, only one home run in the series so far, and that was Soto, who did hit a bomb. I'll give him props on that, but I mean, shit. And some of this is like stuff that we previewed after last year, like Pete Alonso. I know it's early. Pete Alonso 1 for 9. Francisco Lindor 0 for 11. Brandon Nimmo 2 for 11. Mark Vientos 1 for 11. Like, Jesus, just gross.
And Brett Beatty had a really good spring, and people are like fell for it again. I don't think he's very good.
No, we haven't seen him put it together at all in the majors. Like even for any sort of stretch, like no, he's just been pretty consistently bad. Yeah, they're young guys like little Acuna. He did nothing over the weekend.
He was bad all spring, and Soto and them kind of gave him a pass. And Lindor said, he's bored. He's not really locked in. I thought he was going to be a real barrel monster after his like the one start he had last year.
Yeah, and I mean he looked good towards what he played the last 2 weeks of the year last year.
Yeah.
And put together a decent little stretch there where I thought, all right, yeah, I know he's not going to be what Ronald Acuna is, but no one can be. So
yeah, and the Mets, their thing is they don't have good enough pitching to sustain droughts like this from their offense.
No. Honestly, this reminds me a lot of like the Indians from a couple of years ago. It's just like, yeah, if Josie and Naylor aren't going, like the lineup was bad for times.
You think they miss Kumar Rocker? Because I think the Mets are off today. Yeah. They're gonna have to watch Kumar Rocker today.
That was one of the craziest things, you know.
Oh, no, the Mets play Miami at 6:40.
Oh, they do. Hey, undefeated Miami Marlins.
Undefeated Marlins walked off 3 straight.
Yeah.
No, like the Kumar Rocker thing, I wish we would have been doing a show while that whole thing happened.
Yeah, because that was, oh my God. I remember just being floored when that whole situation happened. I mean, not signing him.
Yeah, they drafted him in the top,
top 10.
Him in the top 10. And then not that they didn't agree on negotiations. They didn't offer him a contract.
Oh, just brutal. Absolutely brutal.
And he goes tonight. I've got him on my fantasy team, so I'm hopeful he puts together a big outing with plenty of strikeouts. Because who are they playing? Oh, they're playing the Reds.
Yes, that's right. That's a fun matchup because it's Kumar Rocker versus
Ellie
Brady Singer making his first start in Cincinnati too, and he's kind of been
that's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that game.
Yeah, I definitely give me Rangers in that one for shit sure. I do want to talk about this. Thoughts on Sasaki's rough start with the Dodgers? I know it's opening weekend, and I know I'm overreacting, but brother, I feel so vindicated because remember, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Came in here, told Pat, told you guys, it's going to be a really rough start because the metrics don't support it or make sense. I don't care how hard you throw. You have to do 2 things. Your fastball has to have life, and you have to be able to spin a breaking pitch and throw a breaking pitch for a strike. Roki Sasaki couldn't make it out of the second inning because he cannot throw. First of all, he can't spin a breaking ball.
And he has no control.
No control. He can't throw the splitter for a strike, so people are just spitting on it.
Bro, he has thrown now 4 2/3 innings.
Mm-hmm.
He's walked 9 guys in 4 2/3 innings.
Brother.
That is like historically bad.
Yeah, and then you're right, Evan. He was out of the game, and I don't know why he stood over the dugout like that watching it, just crying.
And so I read something, too, that there were concerns amongst his coaches in Japan about his emotional maturity.
Well, there was a rumor he almost quit baseball
because
he couldn't handle some of the pressure stuff. And remember, his agent came out and said a smaller market really suits him.
And he, again, knowing all this, when he had even a team like Toronto that was heavily interested in him, even a market like San Diego is kind of a smaller market.
Yeah,
just
San Diego
because
would have been he would not have there would not be a lot of pressure in San Diego. They'd be really happy to support and uplift this kid because they're not a defending champion.
Yeah, I think there would have been a little more pressure just because San Diego's been in the win now mode and just like and consistently spending and not winning anything.
Well, yeah, but not anymore. Like new ownership, they haven't.
Yeah.
They're not trying to spend anything. They're just shedding salary.
No, 100%. So it would have been a less stressful situation. And you've got a kid now with emotional maturity issues, and you put him in LA again, the second biggest market in baseball behind New York. And you're talking about a team that has all this money invested, that is coming off a national, a World Series championship, and that kind of understands that they have to win 3 more in this next 10-year window
to make it
to like really vindicate. All right, like this was worth it, all this money.
Well, and the thing that also is bad, now the whole baseball world has seen you cry. Not only is there a lot of pressure from your own fan base, but there are fans of every other team want to see you fail.
And it's just a lot of it is out of his control. Everyone will hate anyone that signs with the Dodgers now because the Dodgers have become the de facto evil empire of baseball. But you're telling me that you just gave all these fan bases bulletin board material. I mean, you're going to go, brother, you haven't even pitched on the road yet in the majors, and you've already given this kind of material to the fan bases. I mean, I can't stand
if teams find something that like crowds will hunt that, bro. Remember who was it that got this? So they were counting on the pitch clock this weekend.
Oh, that was it was in Cincinnati. It was against Robbie Ray.
Yeah, he had a no-hitter going until that.
Yeah. And they
folded. And they kept doing it. Had to take him out of the game because he couldn't get together. And now they got this kid. Oh my goodness. And on top of that, you can't throw the splitter for strikes.
Yeah. Oh my God. And it reminds me, like I envisioned something happening like when the Reds, man, all these games involving the Reds now, funny enough, but the Johnny Cueto in the playoffs against Pittsburgh, when the Pirates fan base just got on him, Russell Martin goes deep, the Cueto. Like you've now opened that door for opposing teams to just fuck with you mentally. And I don't think he can handle it.
I hope he doesn't learn English.
Matt, dude, his first start in the Bronx.
Oh,
I hate the Bronx like that, but that's the hardest place to play.
Yeah, honestly, I would be surprised if they even pitched him in the Bronx
or Fenway, dude. Either one of those spots.
So here's the thing: do you think he's going to get sent down to AAA? I think they need to send him down right now.
It's too early to do it now.
Look, he didn't throw strikes in the spring. He didn't throw strikes in Japan.
Yeah, I mean,
and then you're not throwing strikes here.
I would. I just don't think they will.
I think they need to, and just bring him up whenever Spencer Strider comes up. Do it at the same time.
Yeah, you've also just invested so much money. Like
you didn't invest money into Roki.
Oh, that's true. Because what
remember, it's the minor. He's on a minor league deal.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Because he came over early because he forced his way out.
Yeah. So yeah, you might as well. And it's not like they don't have like
they're going to make playoffs no matter what.
Yeah, and they're loaded pitching wise. I mean, fuck. Yeah. Glass now hasn't even started for them yet.
Right. Neither has Dustin May started.
Neither has Dustin May. Those two guys haven't even made a start yet for the Dodgers.
Yeah. Yeah. Additionally, the other concerning metric with Roki is that not only can he not throw strikes with his fastball either, his fastball isn't spinning. So when I talk about late life and spin on a fastball, your four seam fastball throwing at 98, 99 needs to be up near that like 2,500 mark. Like Gavin Williams, he threw is right around that 2,400 mark, and they want that to be even more. Roki Sasaki is under 2,100 on RPM. So it's just like a really flat fastball. That paired with the fact that he can't throw his off speed for a strike, people are just sitting on it. And he's going to get either tattooed or walk a lot of guys.
Yeah. And that's what we're seeing right now. I mean, 9 walks, opponents hitting 235 against him, which is, again, not what you expect from the type of ace level stuff that he has.
Yeah. You can see, what was it, Ryan Mountcastle or was it Colton Cowser that broke their thumb?
Colton Cowser just went on the IL, so I think that was him.
Okay, he broke his thumb. You know how he broke it?
No.
Head first slide into first.
Oof. Not on like a pickoff attempt, like running to first.
Running to first. Opening weekend. Why are we sliding face first into first?
Brutal, dude.
Brutal. So now they got him and Gunnar on the IL.
Yeah, shit. And those are like, I mean, obviously, Cows are what, second in Rookie of the Year voting last year?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was he third? I forget.
Was he second? Because remember, we thought
you had Heel and Wells.
Yeah, Heel and Wells.
Cowser he was second last year.
Okay. I wondered how they would view him versus Wells. Devers has struck out again in this game and also grounded out. He's now 0 for 18 to start the year.
Okay, where are we?
He told him he's a DH. They didn't believe him.
He's on deck right now, too.
Oh. Devers can hit.
Yeah, dude. Do you think it's mental?
I do.
Because obviously the Red Sox were making headlines right at the beginning of spring when Bregman was taking, infield, playing primarily third base. Because they want second base, which is where everyone presumed he would play.
Well, they want Christian Campbell out there so bad.
Yeah.
And he's a great defender, and it makes sense.
And he's the only one that's hitting for them right now, dude. Him and Willie Abreu had a crazy weekend too. Campbell 6 for 16 so far on the year, 375 average.
Rookie of the Year.
Just saying.
Shout out him on being and Pat's fantasy teams. I started him today.
Same here.
So I like him, bro, in the ESPN Fantasy League because he's center fielder, shortstop, and second baseman tagged.
Yeah. Oh, super clutch.
Super dude. So
yeah, I have him in 2 leagues, and let's see how many points he has right now. Oh, Jordan Westberg, baby. He's been on a tear. I have him in 1 league, and then right now, damn, Jonathan India. Holy shit. So India had 7. So India with 3 for 5 today after getting drilled in the head. I think he's fine.
Jeez. Going stupid. Oh, this is Z, our resident Red Sox fan. Stan said he hates playing DH because he feels so disconnected. Same with Jordan. Yeah, it took Stanton having the batting cages underneath the stadium to and he can only turn, like, he can't go through the season hot. He has to turn on it in the postseason.
Yeah. It's hard. A lot of players, mentally, when you're in a slump, and then you're not able to kind of get your mind off of that because you're just sitting in the, in the dugout, in the cages, in between innings, kind of just like all you're thinking about is, damn, how do I get out of this slump? Whereas like when you're in a slump and playing the field, you naturally just have to snap out of it a little bit.
Like,
you got to lock in and make a play.
I can make a great play defensively and then get it going.
Yeah. And so you don't have that luxury when you're DHing. So I get it. And I know, like Josie hates, when Vogt wants to give him a day off, but he wants to keep him in the bat, like he'll DH him. And I know Josie splits when he DHs are not very good. So I get it. It's a total mental block for a lot of these guys. And again, like we've said, baseball players are a creature of habit. So you take him out of that. Take a guy like Devers who has never DH'd before. You take him out of that, and
he warned the Red Sox. He warned them. You think he won't ever get traded, right?
They can. How long is he under contract for?
Just saying. If I'm the Yankees, I'm telling him he could play third base for us.
Yeah, but they're not. The Red Sox are not. First of all, they're not trading him to the Yankees, and second of all, it's a small sample size. He's gonna figure it out.
You know who the last player the Red Sox traded to us was?
Jacoby Ellsbury.
No.
Eduardo Nunez.
Jacoby came as a free agent.
Okay. Eduardo Nunez?
No, super recent.
Huh. It's got to be a pitcher, right?
No, outfielder.
Oh, Verdugo.
Verdugski. Hey, it's 0-2 to Devers right now.
I just turned it on.
Yeah, we're gonna watch this at bat, overreact, and then get off.
Yeah, this is perfect. Where are you at right now in the count?
It's 1-2.
All right. I just saw Aiken miss high with the fastball.
Yeah.
Oh, Devers. Can he break the slump?
Devers.
Keegan Aiken, the 1-2 pitch.
$300 million DH.
Foul back. That was a good hack.
They need to go ahead and trade us Tristan Casas and I love Tristan Casas. Pat hates him.
Brother, I'm so far out on Tristan Casas.
I don't know why, bro.
He's not good.
Usually our takes bleed all over each other. That's like when we're super separate.
Yeah. I've seen too much of Cassis sucking. Oh, all right. Almost bit.
Yeah,
Slider
bro.
down and in, or
Good,
down
good
away
little,
too.
good little at bat, dude, with Bregman off to the side, dude. Braggy waggy.
Braggy waggy. That's I don't like that.
Braggy waggy.
Here we go.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, see, like that's a pitch that Devers does not miss.
Bro, why is he turning into prime Barry Bonds against Garrett Cole?
Dude, I don't know.
This is a long at bat, bro. He's getting it going, dude.
Starting to lock in. Hey, what do they always say? A hitter's starting to get locked in when he's fouling off pitches, but like these are pitches that he shouldn't be fouling off.
I was gonna say two of those pitches were middle 93.
No, he's not spoiling anything. He's just missing shit right down the middle.
Brother said, "Oh yeah, he's getting locked in." My brother in Christ, that was middle 93. Yeah.
Oh my God. Change up. I had him out in front like a fool.
But it wasn't even well located.
No, dude. Again, so much of the plate.
Bro, middle. Oh my gosh, bro. He might be washed, dude. Trade him to New York. He can play third here.
Absolutely do not trade him to New York.
You think the Cubs would do us a solid and like trade for, like set up a 3-way deal so they can trade for him and then send him to us?
Yeah, absolutely the fuck not.
You act like the Cubs don't be doing the Yankees solids.
I know, dude. It pisses me off. Like,
the Rockies do solids for you guys.
They do not.
Yes, they do.
They gave us Nolan Jones. Congrats.
Right. They gave him back.
Yeah, that's fine. That's first of all, we gave them a solid first. Actually, no, we won that trade because we got Juan Brito. So as long as Brito's good.
Yeah, bro. The Cubs be doing the Yankees solid, bro. Like
they give you way too many solids. We've got one with the Rockies. The Cubs have given you fucking every fucking pass in the book.
Like the fact that they sent us Cody Bellinger for Cody Petit is hilarious.
The fact that they traded you guys Gleyber Torres for a half year of Chapman just so you guys could re-sign Chapman the next years.
Yeah, we already had the agreement with Chapman too. If we trade for you, spin it back.
Fuck Chapman.
Hey, yeah, fuck Chapman. But anyway, I'm Chris. That's Pat. Like, subscribe. We got 618 people in here, Pat.
Yeah, let's go. Make sure you head over to YouTube at Paintin Korners. Subscribe, follow the channel.
We'll probably have a stream that we'll announce on our Twitter at some point this week, like what we plan on watching together in here.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Obviously, with us being on the West Coast, I mean, our game times aren't going to line up this week, but
right. But we could watch it. We could watch a game. I mean, I'm all for whatever. You know, even if we're have to watch from Pat's apartment late night stream, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But
hey, catch you tomorrow.
Catch tomorrow. Are we going back to back?
No, I mean, I guess not this show, but like another show. We're now on a microphone all the time.
Oh yeah, dude. I feel this is dating back to last Thursday. This is now the sixth or seventh consecutive show on the Menace channel that we've done, the two of us.
Yeah, bro. We've been cranking them out, dude. I think I just broke my little robot guy. I'm sick, bro.
What is that?
It's supposed to look like a robot, bro, but I forgot where his head is.
Does not look like a robot with what you
bro, because I busted him, dude. He was playing with it too much.
It looked awfully close to something else, dude.
Fuck, dude. All right, wait. Are these the legs? Oh, never mind. Got it.
All
right, bro. We're good. Yeah, there it is. Bang.
Oh, you're back. All right.
Yeah, dude. I was like, dang, my brother Christ, he's been lost.
Yeah.
He'd be standing on business, bro.
All right. Guys, thanks for tuning in. And go Tribe, go Yanks, right? Is that
yes, yeah, I got my Yankees gear on, bro. You're not really repping any Tribe gear, bro, but the brown on my thing matches the brown on my hat.
Hey, I'm going Cleveland,
baby. Cavaliers hat. But well, aren't you? Paintin Korners out.
Yeah, Paintin out. Oh no, wait.